Are you ready for some Raw? No. Monday Night Memories, episode 7. We back wrestling with Fuze. I'm Fuze in his house. And I got Bri right beside me. And we're going to switch it up a little bit this time. We already watched episode 7. We took some notes. We're going to go over the matches and what we felt about episode 7 of Monday Night Raw. So let's get right into it. And how did episode 7 start? Bri, I'll let you start us off.
Okay, well, I'm just going to let you guys know it was March 1st today in episode 7. So that means we're getting closer and closer to Wrestlemania this year. But the first match was Bret Hart versus Fatu, which is actually Rikishi from the Head Shrinkers.
The WWE Champion Bret Hart versus Fatu, member of the legendary tag team, the Head Shrinkers. Also, you guys may know him as Rikishi, the father of Jimmy and Jay Uso and Solo. Well, how did you feel about the match?
It was okay. I mean, Bret Hart's not one of my favorites. I know that's kind of probably controversial to say, but he's not one of my favorites. But I mean, Rikishi is, but not as Fatu, because I really haven't seen him like in his Fatu era yet as much. So I don't know how good he is in that era of his wrestling career. But I don't know. I feel like it was a pretty good match. They did some. His tag team partner came out a little bit later on in the match and had some involvement in the match. So I mean, it was okay. But I mean,
Okay. Well, I'm gonna respond with this. I believe that the more you watch Bret Hart, or the more, if you become a bigger wrestling fan, you will appreciate the whole gimmick of Bret Hart even more. Maybe some of it was cheesy, as far as the other wrestlers you may like. But yeah, you will appreciate his technical wrestling way more. His storytelling in the ring, you will appreciate it the more you like wrestling. And then again, I agree with you. It was dope watching Rikishi as Fatu, that classic, that legendary tag team. And it's just dope to see him and his move sets when he was a smaller wrestler. He came back big and he still had that agility. But now you see why he had that agility when he was so big, and you see some of the moves he was putting on when he was smaller. It was like he was dope, jumping off the top rope, headbutts and shit. But okay, the match was dope. Bret Hart was the technical wizard that he always is. He started off the match targeting Fatu's left arm, so we got a lot of that to start off the match to try to wear him down. That's his classic Bret Hart, but he tells a story in the ring, so you start to appreciate that. I did see one botch. I'm going to try to put that in there right quick. It was a quick botch, but it was professional. He was trying to jump over Fatu, but he ended up just tripping and falling. But they got it right back. Fatu looked at the crowd. Bret Hart was able to roll him up, so it was like a mini botch. You really didn't pay you really couldn't tell unless you were just really paying attention. After that, Fatu started getting the upper hand. And then his tag team partner, like Brianna just stated, came out there, Samo, and I believe that's his name. And he got to put the boots on Bret Hart for a minute. Got to put the headbutts on Bret Hart for a minute. They did the heel tactics for a minute. It was dope. Then Bret Hart started to get advantage back of the match. Take advantage back of the match. Hit a dope suplex off the top ropes. Led into a bulldog from the corner. Then he hit him with the elbow from the second ropes. Tried to go into the sharpshooter, and then they did a dope. The head stringers did a dope heel spot. Bret Hart went for the sharpshooter. Their manager got the attention of the ref. I just thought that was very, very sweet. And then after that, they did the finish, which was Bret putting Fatu in a sleeper hold, pushing him into his tag team partner, and then his tag team partner, Samo, did a spot, which I saw like Terry Funk do. I think I saw Mankind do, and I believe one more person. He went into the ropes, but got his head stuck into the ropes, per se. So he was stuck in the ropes. The manager couldn't get in the ring some kind of way.
I think Bret Hart kicked him.
Okay, yeah, Bret Hart did drop kicked him out of the ring. His partner was stuck in the ropes, and then he was able to put the sharpshooter on for 2, get the win off the submission. So it was dope. That's how Bret do his matches. He do the storyline. That was the storyline. His partner was stuck in the ropes, couldn't help him. The manager got kicked out. That was the only way he was gonna be able to beat all 3 of them. Love the match. Bret Hart Fatu had great chemistry, if you ask me. So I'm gonna say I liked the match, and also I got a lot from that match, just knowing that. Me personally, knowing that what's about to go down at WrestleMania, and we seeing Hulk Hogan back. I kind of know the backstory a little bit of it, so I'm seeing what Bret Hart was doing. He really put on first match of Raw, your WWE Championship match.
Well, yeah.
He put on the longest match of the night, the best match of the night.
Yeah, because now he's got to fight for that spot back.
Yeah, he trying to prove to Mr. McMahon, like, I'm doing what needs to be done. You got a fighting champion. Yeah. A real, not an Intercontinental champion, fighting WWE champion. So I saw a lot from that match, but we're going to keep going.
Before we get into match number 2, they did have another WrestleMania report where they kind of just said the date of WrestleMania and went over the matchups that they had so far.
Well, give us the matchups then, Bri.
So
salute to Earl Hebner for being a referee. I think that was Earl. It was one of the Hebner brothers for being a ref for that first match. And salute to my boy Mean Gene Oakland because he was the one that did the reports. So what's the matchup? The first match he stated was
The Undertaker versus the 8-foot tall Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah, Undertaker versus Gonzalez. Probably not the best matchup for WrestleMania, but
it's gonna be interesting how it plays out since from the whole
Royal Rumble.
Shawn Michaels versus Tatanka.
I'm digging it,
and that's gonna be a title match.
Yep, I see title match. Shawn Michaels, the Intercontinental Champion. Last week we talked about them in a 6-man matchup against each other. It was Shawn Michaels and Beverly Brothers versus Tatanka and the Nasty Boys. So that's coming into this match. Tatanka has been able to get the upper hand on Shawn Michaels in previous matchups. So we're gonna see at WrestleMania who will be victorious.
It is kind of crazy because when I first seen Tatanka, I thought he was kind of one of those wrestlers that they don't talk about too much. You know,
he had a wave. He had a wave.
I'm saying like El Matador. They're talking about him right now, but it's not like he's not very memorable.
I understand. He was one of them ones for me as a child and growing up. After my Ultimate Warrior phase, like Tatanka, he was one of them ones for me.
So the next one is Mr. Perfect versus Lex Luger.
Should be a great match. I'm just shitty that Mr. Perfect probably got to put Lex over, but that's Mr. Perfect being Mr. Perfect.
Lex Luger shit going on right now. But then Royal Rumble winner Yokozuna versus Bret Hart.
That's gonna be great.
So that's a title match probably too.
Yeah, that's the World Heavyweight. That's the WWE Championship match.
And then
and also we might as well just say the Tag Team Championship match, the Money Incorporated versus Hulk Hogan and British
later on in the match. But that was part of what they're adding to WrestleMania.
WrestleMania and put the belts on the line.
Agreed. And
we gonna get to that in a second.
Yeah.
So with that, we led into the second matchup, and that second matchup was Koko Ware versus Doink the Clown. Complete squash match. How you feel about it before I talk about it? Any points you want to talk about?
It's kind of funny because I kind of like Doink's kind of one of those that I really like, even though he's kind of like one of those that people kind of forget about or wouldn't.
Oh no, Doink cool with me. It just was a squash. It was surprisingly a squash match against Koko Ware. That's what I'm saying. Koko Ware is a known name as well.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like they had to decide which one or another because
they building him up for the crush match, which they did show. We might as well say that. I didn't mean to cut you off. They did show like I want to say a vignette with Crush. He was at a beach and basically saying what he was gonna do to Doink the Clown at WrestleMania. That's another matchup for WrestleMania, by the way. Crush versus Doink the Clown.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't mention
they've been kind of beefing the last couple of weeks. They building that up. So Crush was able to get a win last week, I believe, a squash match. He won, or the week prior. So they basically showed a vignette of him crushing the coconut, saying that's what he gonna do to Doink. So this week, Doink got a squash match against Koko Ware, and went in there and just beat him up, attacked him while he was trying to take his jacket off, and just worked on his leg. It was like a real short match, probably a minute or two. Put him in some ridiculous submission maneuver. I'll try to show that to y'all. And got the submission win. After the match, the guy, I forgot my name, Rob Bartlett, he was dressed up as Elvis. So the whole night.
They said his name later.
Oh, it wasn't Rob Bartlett, it was somebody else?
No, George Steinberg.
Okay, well, he was dressed up as Elvis through the whole night. Yeah. So after the match, he wanted to meet Doink. He thought Doink was cool, and Doink brought a package to the ring earlier that night when he was coming to the ring. So ended up being a pie.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't really were trying to figure out what it is because it was kind of showing it to the audience.
Yeah, like they didn't want to take it. The females didn't want to take it. They're like, we good, we good.
Yeah, with the kids and the parents and all the people that were in the audience and stuff. And when he brought out the present, he was kind of like just like walking around with it, and then he put it in the corner. So I thought that was either gonna come out during the match, like there was gonna be something in it during the match, or he was gonna take it back out and like do something outside of the ring, and it winded up being at the very end against the Elvis impersonator, I guess you could call him.
Yeah, basically pied him, and that was that segment of Raw. So
because it was kind of funny because at first he showed like a little pie because.
Yeah, he gave him a little pie.
He was offering him he was like, oh, I'm hungry. Do you have something in there to eat? And so he was like, oh yeah, I actually do. And he showed him like a little pie. So when he was talking about the little pie to like WWE Universe, he was like, oh, here, like, look, he gave me this little pie. Da da da.
He turned around to a pie to her face.
Turned around to say something to him, and he pied him with a bigger pie that was in the box. So it was kind of funny, little shit that he always does after his matches or before his matches.
Yeah, Doink wasn't that bad of a gimmick. I think it was a pretty good gimmick. Mm-hmm. After that, did we miss any promos? Was the $1 Million Man promo after that? I think.
Yeah, it was Money Incorporated minus Jimmy Hart.
Yeah, so my main man Ted DiBiase and the guy IRS. Man, for some reason I just fuck with that tag team, man. I know they was heels, but they was proper. The tag team champions, they came out there, did a promo, cut a promo on Hulk Hogan and Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and basically Jimmy Hart talking about their upcoming they feud in their upcoming matchup. They accepted all the challenges, but they try to make it seem like they challenged Hulk Hogan and them for the belts. You know, like they gave them the challenge. It was kind of like vice versa.
Prior.
Yeah. So they came out, responded to Hulk and Brutus. I appreciate Ted DiBiase's promos. I've really been loving his promos. We 7 episodes in. I fuck with Ted DiBiase IRS. Their promos are dope, especially with Vince McMahon right there. He went into a little bit of assets and liability talk, which I thought was dope, which I kind of felt like it held more weight than what it supposed to. Let me explain that more. Like it had more meaning to it than just him playing off of the fact that he the $1 Million Man and my man is Mr. IRS. He used assets and liability, I think, just to hint on a little bit of the Hulk Hogan shit, but I could be wrong because I think they were kind of cool as well. I heard stories about them being cool, but I ain't gonna get into all that. But he did the assets liability thing, and I was just thinking in my head like, yeah, Hulk Hogan is a big asset for Vince McMahon. But then they got me to think about this Wrestlemania that's gonna come up. So it is what it is. But anyways, the asset liability part, I liked that part. Their promos was dope. IRS did his thing as well. Then they got up out of there, and after that we went to Lex, the narcissist, Lex Luger, and basically a quick squash match against, who did he go against? PJ Walker. You got anything to say about this matchup? It was very, very quick. Let me put it like that. It was a quick match.
All I can really say about that one is that they did have Bobby the Brain Heenan on the phone for a little bit because of his stuff introducing Lex Luger at the did the whole narcissist thing.
He's supposed.
So that's probably why
he's supposed to be like his manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny though, cause now Ric Flair not there, and I don't think Bobby Brain Heenan gonna be there for too much longer. So I'm trying to figure out that part. So he wasn't there. He wasn't there the prior week with Lex Luger. I feel like he should have been bringing Lex Luger to the ring and being a manager and talking to the crowd, talking bad about the crowd, getting Lex Luger that heat, because obviously Lex wasn't that great on the mic. So by him not having Bobby the Brain Heenan in there, maybe that's why he does the little narcissist shit after the match and just continues to, like, humiliate his opponents. So the match was quick. He just showed off a few moves, which I feel like if it's a squash match, you go out there and you show off some of your better moves, your best moves. You go out there, you put it on him, you show off your good moves. I can't say he did a dope suplex. Hit him with the forearm shiver. He didn't have the torture rack at the time, I don't think. Well, he probably did, but he wasn't using it right now. He hit him with the forearm, knocked him out, pinky, 1, 2, 3 count, and that's Lex Luger, the narcissist. I wasn't the biggest fan of Lex, but now I'm respecting him a little bit more, just seeing him in WWE, and Vince is really pushing Lex Luger, and don't forget he got some big coming up. So Vince got plans for Lex Luger, just believe that. But after that, quick match from Lex. Where do we go from there?
It was the Steiner Brothers versus Wayne or Wade. They never made it really clear which name it was.
Yeah, just some squash guys, some jobbers.
Yeah.
And like we said, it was a squash match, so it ain't really too much to talk about. You got something to talk about before I break it down?
Not too much. All I want to say is that Macho Man did call Scott Rick at the very end of the match, and Vince quickly
try to correct him
and try to make it seem like he didn't mess up. But yeah.
Well, that match was, like I said again, for the umpteenth time. I'm gonna stop trying to say squash match. That was a quickie. That was a quickie for sure. But unlike Lex Luger, I feel like the Steiner brothers, they take an opportunity. They take the opportunity in that squash match, in their squash matches, and they really put on their skills. They do wrestling moves during the match. They actually do some good moves.
Squash match. One of them has to at least, like, if it's whether it's a tag team or just like one person, one of them has to do something to make it interesting, because it can't just be like a total squash match.
Yeah, it's a squash match. Yeah, but I'm saying during squash matches, you should be displaying your best moves.
That's what I'm saying.
So Luger should have been in there putting on his, like, at least 5, 6 of his dopest moves against homie. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just toying around with him, like, put 5, 6 moves on him, break him down. And, you know what I'm saying, like on some Brock Lesnar shit. It's kind of like what Scott and them do. They get in there and they don't play. They some dope moves from Scott Steiner. I am scared of the Frankensteiner from him. He throw you in the ropes and just give you the Hurricane Rider. It seemed like they be landing on their head. But he ended the match with that. 1, 2, 3. Quick 1, 2, 3. I heard Vince say some stuff about them being one of the dopest tag teams. But he saluted Money Incorporated. So it's gonna be dope to see if they end up getting a shot at those titles. If Money Incorporated is still the champs, you still got the Nasty Boys out there somewhere. You still got the Head Strinkers out there. So other than that, man, that was Monday Night Raw, the 7th episode. I think it was pretty good. They leading up to Wrestlemania. They put Bret Hart on. He showed out, just showing how he a great. I think that was more of him just trying to show Vince McMahon, this is what I do for the company. But we can talk about that in our own, in a separate video alone, just knowing what Bret was going through. We got some quick matchups. Doink, they gave him a push towards his match against Crush. We just see all the stories developing. Lex gave him a push. He about to go against Mr. Perfect. Basically everybody that was on the card is gonna be on WrestleMania. And wrestling reviews again. My bad, y'all. This episode 7. Monday Night Raw. We having the usual suspects. We haven't seen Undertaker. We probably seen him a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Shawn Michaels. So they popping up. They popping up the big stars, and it's just dope to see everybody on on Monday Night Raw, and just seeing the beginning of something that's epic, great, legendary, still going on to this day. It's just dope. And we was talking about who was the MVP so far, but I think I'm gonna wait till we like 10 episodes in, give us a couple more episodes, because right now we everywhere with that. But salute to y'all wrestling fans, salute to y'all for checking us out. I know we over here on this channel. If you followed us from the other channel, Fuse the Vibe, appreciate y'all. Man, this is Wrestling with Fuze, episode 7. We gonna get y'all some more content out here. Other than that, y'all be safe. Y'all believe.